Hi, welcome to another episode of Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror films. I'm your host, Joshua
And
Conkle.
I'm your co-hostess with the mostest, Drusilla Adeline. However, this week, we are joined by an incredibly special guest. Josh, who the hell is this sitting in the ethereal space in which we record podcasts? AKA Glendale, California.
Fabulous and talented writer, filmmaker, podcaster, co-host of this NZET from BJ Colangelo.
Hi.
What's up, BJ? How are you?
Oh, I'm just living my best life, hoping that my neighbors who for some reason have a lot of chickens don't have them start whiling out while we're recording, because otherwise you're going to have to deal with chicken sound effects.
I don't mind chicken sound effects. It'll be like pink flamingos is being referenced here. I always find like I live in a neighborhood with a lot of people that have chickens, and it's like half, like Mexican families and half like hipsters who are trying to
mine are
live their,
hipsters
like,
for sure.
Cottagecore fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm annoyed with one and not the other, and I'm not sure if that's really fair or
That's
not.
fair.
I think it's fair.
I live in Silver Lake. I'm a hipster like everyone else is, but I can't imagine wanting to raise chickens or do it. I mean, maybe it's because I'm from Kentucky, but like I don't want to fuck with farms. I don't want to do chickens. I don't want to do any of that shit. I don't see the appeal of it whatsoever.
It's just always odd because, one, we're in the middle of like a neighborhood. This isn't like there's a lot of space. Like it's a neighborhood, and there's like a daycare across the street from our house. So it's just there's some conflicting energy happening here.
Yeah.
I mean, you live like less than a mile from me.
Yes.
And I've never seen or heard these chickens ever. But also, we all went to get vaccinated together.
Yes.
Way back when vaccinations were first a thing. The good old days. At a preschool, a different one, that also had like chickens and livestock at it.
Yeah.
Who are these people in fucking California that are like, goes well together? Children and animals. If Hollywood tells you one thing, do not mix.
Glendale is wild where you guys live. I went to the Americana last night, and I saw not one, but two people walking exotic cats on leashes through the Americana.
Just like servals, I assume?
Separately, yes.
Yeah.
Or like some sort of fancy, fancy, probably illegal pet cat. Separate from each other. They were not together. It was like 20 minutes apart.
I hope they meet, and I hope those two cats fall in love.
Yeah.
I really want to see a Christmas time rom-com set at the Americana about two people who own exotic cats meeting and falling in love.
I took my friend who's visiting from New York to the Americana, and he was like, "This is so beautiful. It's so fancy." I never thought LA would be like this. And I was like, I don't know why. This is like exactly what LA is. This is the heart and soul of Los Angeles.
That's very correct. But the Americana also, the first time I went, I was like, oh, this is just like Indiana. So,
really?
You know what?
Yeah, it has very similar energy to a place called Crocker Park right outside Cleveland. It's very similar energy.
Glendale's the most Midwestern part of Southern California and Los Angeles ever, and that's why I live here.
I was going to say that's probably why I love living here.
We don't have anything like that in Seattle, nor New York City, so it is like a little bit special.
It's a sprawl with malls. It's a mall sprawl. It's the Midwest.
Yeah.
It's great.
BJ, have you seen those ads all over LA trying to get people to move to Cleveland?
Yeah, they're really hilarious.
It's so weird.
So yeah, I am from Chicago by way of Cleveland, which is interesting. So like grew up Illinois, Chicagoland, moved to Cleveland for way too long. And then I come out here, and it was actually the first billboard I saw when we got into LA County proper. It was like, want to go high? And I'm like, absolutely not. This is not a thing that's happening ever in my life. You could not pay me enough money to go back. I'll visit.
Yeah.
And then I can distill everything that I love about it and completely ignore all of the systemic problems that pushed me out in the first place.
I have no problems with Cleveland. I've never been there. I just think it's funny. It reminds me, I lived in New Zealand for a while, and there's like a history of them like tricking British people to move to New Zealand with the promise of paradise back in the day, like the 1800s. and it gives me that energy a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you can buy, no exaggeration, there is a house for sale, ended up on like Zillow Gone Wild, of a castle in Cleveland for $250,000 because housing costs nothing out there. But
that's good.
then you just have to live in Cleveland.
But then you're stuck in Cleveland.
And your children go to school where teachers can have guns, and no one wants that.
Jesus Christ. Have you been watching anything cool?
So I've been watching a very strange combination of things. I have finally started P-Valley. Not horror, but Katori Hall can do no wrong.
She's amazing.
So been really, really loving P-Valley. And then I also have started getting high and watching Clarence, the animated series, because I watched it, speaking of Ohio, when I was visiting Ohio and saw my niece, because she really likes that absurdist brand of humor of Cartoon Network. And she was just mainlining Clarence, and I was sitting there with her watching it like, no, this shit's kind of funny. This is really funny.
What is it? I don't know anything about it. I've never heard of it.
It is about like a bunch of little kids and just living their lives, getting into little kid hijinks, but the humor is so weird, and all of the kids are just really weird and have very odd personality quirks. Like, they're not like, oh, look at these average kids. Like, they're the weirdos of school. Yeah. And they're all drawn really strange. Like, the character of Jeff, who's kind of like the overly conscious, very clean and tidy type A kid, is just drawn with a square head because he's a square.
Oh, that's fun.
Like, it's very on the nose with what it's doing, but it's just really, really funny, and it's a great watch when you are not sober.
I used to love this cartoon. Maybe you remember it. I think it was on Adult Swim. It was called Home Movies.
Oh, I love Home Movies. Yeah.
God, I loved it. These little kids that were filmmakers, and they were always making like funny genre films, and God, I loved that show.
Home Movies basically grew up into Bob's Burgers.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't connect that, but you're right. Yeah, you're totally right.
No, Home Movies was incredible. I remember the first time I saw Home Movies, it was like they played like an episode of it before a movie at like a Regal in Indiana. Like as like a pre-reel, like Maria Menounos, like, you got here early, wait for the trailers to start. They showed an entire episode of Home Movies for some fucking reason. And I just remember being like, cartoons can look like this?
Yeah.
What? It was incredible, but it was also like, am I supposed to see this? Am I too young for this? Is this done?
That's so much better than their like terrible quizzes or whatever. That's like, name this 2-letter movie by Steven Spielberg or whatever.
Some of them are real embarrassing in how they insult you. And I think sometimes I forget, though, that there are a lot of people who don't actually know a lot about movies. Anytime I'm in a ride share, it becomes painfully aware, or I become painfully aware of it, I should say, because they'll ask me something about what I do, and I'll be like, oh, I write about movies. And they're like, oh, what's good out? And then I'll say something huge, right? Like, oh, Jordan Peele's Nope. And they're like, oh, is Get Out any good? I never saw it. And I'm like,
yeah,
what's happening here?
I went to go see Nope a few months ago, like, I was so excited, so hyped, and it felt, I work at a freaking like marketing agency for movies, and so everyone's talking about everything all the time, and like I was getting a group of friends together to go see a Nope, and I texted a friend of mine who's like a skater on the east side, who like plays in bands and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, do you want to like come with us to go see Nope? And she was like, what's Nope? And I was like, whoa, impressive. You're existing in Los Angeles for like months at a time and you've never heard of Nope. Good on you for not looking at the billboards.
Right.
Yeah, it's the LA thing. I tell Lyft drivers that I'm an accountant because I just like don't want to talk about it.
See, but that means something completely different on TikTok. So be careful.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Accountant is the way to get around the TikTok algorithm banning talking about sex work. So people will say, what do you do for a living? Like, oh, I'm an accountant, because nobody asks you questions when you're an accountant.
See, I'm a pioneer. I'm not even on TikTok, and I intuited that. What about you, Drusilla? Have you seen anything cool?
I saw something fucking incredible yesterday morning that like I saw the trailer for it a few months ago and I was like, this looks like fun, I'll give that a watch. And then it like dropped on Netflix on Friday or something. And so I like was like still in bed yesterday morning and I was like, I could watch a movie in bed today. That sounds like a nice little treat. And so I watched the new vicious teen girl movie.
Yes, Do Revenge!
Which I was so excited to talk about with you, BJ. The queen, one of two queens of the fucking teen high school film. Oh my fucking god, I love Do Revenge so much.
Do Revenge is so good. Unbelievable. I can't believe I forgot to bring it up when I talked about what I was watching. Yeah, Do Revenge fucking rules.
And I'm not, so there's one major casting choice of this that they have not marketed. It's not in the trailers. This person is not on the poster or anything like that, who is like, not like a cameo, who's like kind of a recurring character in the film, who is a very big actress, who has not been in things that often recently, but is incredibly associated with teen, entertainment of the 90s.
Wait, this is the only thing I know about the movie is that she's in it. And you're not saying your name because I presume you don't want it to be a spoiler.
Yeah, because I didn't know shit about this. And I've heard people being like, the blank movie, and I'm like, no, like they're not marketing it like that. Let it be a surprise, because she shows up before the opening credits start, and I scream, and I paused it, and I like jumped up and down in my bed. It's incredible. It stars Maya Hawke and Camila Mendes from Riverdale. And it's basically Patricia Highsmith's Strangers on a Train for 2022 high school girls.
Great.
And it pays homage to like Jawbreaker and Cruel Intentions and Wild Things and Heathers and Mean Girls, and it's so much fun.
It is.
I'm gonna watch that.
The way that I described it to a lot of people is like what Easy A was doing with like the 1980s John Hughes teen era of cinema. Do Revenge is doing with all of the edgy movies that were released in 1999 that got completely overtaken by like She's All That and 10 Things I Hate About You. Even though Do Revenge does have a 10 Things I Hate About You reference in it.
Yes, it does.
But it is very much like the 1999 Drop Dead Gorgeous, Jawbreaker, Cruel Intentions, like the stuff for the bad teens. Like that's what this is chasing.
Me.
Yes, like all of us in this room.
I graduated high school in 1999, so I saw all of those movies in the theater, and it was like such a joyous time. It was a good year for movies.
I entered preschool in the same year.
I
I'd like rubbing that in.
I was 9.
We've got a spectrum here, kids. Do Revenge is so much freaking fun, and it never stops being fun, and also being like incredibly relatable. I found Maya Hawke's character, and like down to like her working on her classic car that she drives everywhere, to fucking like the way she dresses, to one girl who's seducing her, trying to be like, do you want to come into my room and watch some Godard movies? To her entire like backstory of why she wants revenge. I was like, oh, that happened to me. Oh no.
That's her whole vibe.
It's incredible. It's so good. It's so like visually stylish. Like the like school uniforms are like pastel purples and greens. Like this movie is truly like, we are in the world of teen high school movies. We are from the perspective of these kids' brains. It's going to look like this. It's going to sound like this. We're going to get like all of the Riot Girl songs from the 90s in this, but we're also going to get Blue to Tiger and all the like modern stuff, and it's all going to work, and it's incredible, and everyone needs to see it. And Jennifer Caitlin Robinson is the best. Let her make more things. This movie kicks so much ass.
I can't wait to see
Do Revenge definitely comes from the school of like Mona May costume design, who did costume designing for like Clueless and Romeo and Michelle and The Wedding Singer, where it is just so visually unbelievable. Like every single choice is clearly deliberate, and it has been a very long time since I've seen a movie that deliberate in its styling. So good.
There is an entire set piece kind of built around a clear bucket hat. And it works. I hate a bucket hat, but oh my god, it works.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I can't wait to watch that.
Have you been seeing anything incredible, Josh?
Well, yeah. I mean, I took myself to film school by accident a little bit because I learned about two film movements that I had no idea existed. And since we're talking about teen movies, I'll start there. BJ, I don't think you know this about me, but besides horror, my favorite genre of film is juvenile
Oh,
delinquent
love it. Love
movies
it so much.
from like the late 70s to the early 80s. But I've seen them all like a million times. And so now I've had to go abroad. And so I found this movie on Shudder called Navijeros, which is a Spanish movie from 1980. And we talked a little bit about this on our Arabatos episode, but for listeners who might not know, Spain was a dictatorship until the mid 70s, and so once Franco, the dictator, died, they had this explosion of like really cool movies. And apparently, as part of that, there was a movement called Cine Kinky, which is a whole spat of juvenile delinquent films. So I watched this movie, Navijeros, which is so queer. It's made by this filmmaker who was like a radical queer socialist.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a little bit like a Spanish version of Over the Edge or Kids or something like that. And he's using like real street kids. And it's so beautiful. Very, very queer. I cannot recommend it enough. It's on Shudder right now. It's called Navajeros, which apparently means thugs or knifers, depending on where you live.
I prefer knifers.
Yeah.
Knifers is a great title. And I know, Drew, that you did art from one of that filmmaker's other films, Pals, which is
Colegas.
Altered
Colegas
Yeah.
is incredible. The best way I can describe that movie is like, imagine if Fast Times at Ridgemont High was made by Pasolini.
Ooh.
I feel like that covers a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
But Colegas is very, very fun. And even that one that you mentioned is part of like a trilogy.
Yeah,
he
so
did,
there's a
available.
box set from Severin, the Cine Kinke box set, which this is in. So I just ordered that because I
Ooh.
loved this movie so much. I haven't seen a teenage delinquent movie that I've loved this much in ages.
You're gonna have a lot of fun with him. That director, Elo de la Iglesia, also did a couple really, really strong giallo films in Spain too. He's so much fun to dive into. And in the past like year or two, somehow like almost his entire back catalog has gotten like US disc releases. Like by different labels, and I'm just like counting my blessings that like, oh, someone else did one. So we're just getting these. No one's like making a active movement to like, no one's writing big essays on him. No one's like pushing for him. They're just popping up here and there.
In Spain. They were big movies. They are not like little cult things in Spain, at least. And then the other thing I watched, speaking of Altered Innocence, was this new movie called After Blue, Dirty Paradise, which our own Drusilla did the Blu-ray art for, and it's beautiful, of course. And it's a very beautiful looking movie. The story is like, it's like a 5-star visual movie for me and like a 3-star story movie, which is totally fine. But I only bring it up because I learned by like Googling it that there's this manifesto called the Incoherent Film Manifesto that this filmmaker is a part of. And it's a response to Dogme 95, which was Lars von Trier's whole thing in the 90s, which was that, you know, you couldn't put any music on the film in post-production and everything had to be naturalistic and you had to use like all these rules that these filmmakers set up to themselves to make their films more grounded. And this is the exact opposite. Like your movie has to be completely set in a fantasy world. You only do sound in post-production. You have to have an incoherent script. And so it's called the Incoherent Film Movement. I had no idea it was happening, but now I'm like really curious to see all these other movies because it's so interesting that their whole ethos is that movies should be a fantasy. They should be wild and beautiful and kind of not much else, which is fine with me in a lot of ways. So I just like, I learned about 2 new film movements or subgenres that I had no idea existed. And it felt like being at film school, which is a place I never went, but always wanted to go.
Film school sucks. So there's more fun to do.
Can I throw one more out there that I forgot I watched because my brain is Swiss cheese?
Yeah.
I watched a movie called Baby Assassins this week. It is.
Tell me more right now.
So, Baby Assassins, it came out this year. So, you do have to rent it on like VOD, or if you have the Haya app, I think it's on there. It is a Japanese film by Yugo Sakamoto, and it is about 2 teenage girls that are trained assassins. And to keep a low profile, they are forced to move into an apartment together and try to get normal jobs to kind of keep their cover down. And the best way I can describe the dichotomy of these two is that it's not like The Odd Couple. Like, yes, it's The Odd Couple, but it is The Odd Couple in the sense of if one character was a cat and the other one was a dog. So one of them has like super golden retriever energy and is really like hyper and really excited. And the other one is like, I just want to fucking sleep all day. Please leave me alone. And it is so hilarious, and the action scenes are fantastic because both of the actors are former stunt performers or still are stunt performers. So the fights are incredible. But there's, one of the jobs that they try to get is working at one of those like cat girl maid cafes. So you have the like these two very tough people being like, "Oh, thank you, master. Let me make your coffee so much more delicious with this syrup. Ooh, it's magic. Ooh." And like catering to these like horrible men, and you can tell they're both just like, I want to kill all of them. But yeah, they have to fight the Yakuza, so it's teen girls fighting the Yakuza, and it rules.
That sounds so good. And that's a great segue into our film of the day, our reason for the season. We are discussing our first anime.
Took us freaking long enough.
I know, right? It's from 1997, directed by Satoshi Kon. It is Perfect Blue.
This will be my last song.
So, BJ,
the collective sighs of pleasure at the title Perfect Blue.
I really liked this movie. BJ, you picked this movie. Why for?
So, I like to fancy myself a defender of dismissed cinema, genres that people look down upon or view as lesser than. I'm a purveyor of trash and schlock. But at the same time, there are some genres like anime that are filled with legitimately some of the best films I've ever seen, but because it's anime, a lot of people, especially in the Western world, discount its credibility. And Perfect Blue is one of the best movies ever made. There's a reason that Aronofsky fucking straight up stole it to make Black Swan. Because it's remarkable. It is a remarkable piece of film. It is a terrifying psychological thriller. It is breathtaking to look at. It is so powerful and edgy. And yet this movie was also really difficult to find for a very long period of time in the Western world. And thankfully, our friends over at Shudder got their hands on it, and now people can see it more than they ever could. And that's exciting to me. But I first learned about it when I went through my Miyazaki phase in college, which I think anybody who's interested in film at some point has like a Miyazaki phase. And then it expanded from there, where I wanted to see, oh, wait, anime is not just for kids, or, oh, wait, anime is not just what I saw on TV growing up. And I came across Perfect Blue and just completely fell in love with it and have not been able to shut up about it ever since. And now that it's available, I can continue talking about it and not be screaming into the void.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this movie, and while I don't have any negative associations with anime, I am very uneducated in anime. I don't think I've seen really anything except for the Miyazaki movies that everyone's seen, like Spirited Away. I haven't even seen every Miyazaki movie, so this was like a new experience for me. I'm really grateful for it because I loved this movie. I thought it was so cool, so fun. I guess synopsis-wise, such as it is, like very briefly, we are following a young woman named Mima, who is a pop idol, which I think means something pretty specific in Japan. She's part of a group called Cham, and she decides to leave the group and become an actress instead. So she starts appearing in this crime drama on television. And meanwhile, she has a stalker that's posting as her on a website called Mima's Room. And that gets creepier and creepier and creepier. And I don't know, she starts to lose touch with reality versus fantasy and is like plagued by what seems to be herself from her pop idol time. And yeah, it is very Black Swan. I never would have put that together, but you're right. Anything to amend? I feel like I'm talking in circles.
I would
Amend
then
or change?
add that people around her start to be viciously murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind
that's
of,
pretty important.
that's a thing that happens. I don't know if you
Yeah.
need to know that.
It feels a little bit like a giallo. It has some qualities of something like Valley of the Dolls, where you have an innocent young woman who's being corrupted by the industry. It's just got all of these, like, from my Western eye, all these different genres kind of mushing together. It's really cool.
Yeah, one of my fascinations with this movie is specifically rooted in the fact that I am a teen movie connoisseur, and I am a staunch defender of people who come through the childhood acting machine, through Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, that sort of thing. And I think there are so many fascinating parallels that you can make when you look at somebody like a Britney Spears or a Miley Cyrus who got into the public consciousness with this very specific image. And then when they started to drift away from that image, the way that their treatment completely changed dramatically. And we're kind of seeing that here with Perfect Blue. And then at the same time, this also speaks to my sensibilities as a lifelong wrestling fan, where professional wrestling blurs the lines of fantasy and reality. We have a word for it. It's called kayfabe. And sometimes people cannot understand that what they're seeing is scripted. It's the outcome has already been decided. It is predetermined. But they get so caught up in it and so worked up by it that if it doesn't go the way that they want, they have these really visceral reactions. And that's what's happening here with Mima, is that she has these fans and people who love her for being a pop idol. And when she starts to enter into a more mature territory, when she starts, kind of having autonomy over the way she's being presented to the world, there's a backlash immediately, and it's met with violence. And I think that it just speaks so deeply to celebrity culture, and not even just celebrity culture, but also just the way that women are treated in general in the world. Like, once we break out of that, like, cute, innocent little girl type of phase, then suddenly we're monsters. And this movie just gets in my head and, like, just sits in my soul and makes me feel a lot of things. And I am forced to interrogate a lot of the feelings that I have.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of things I have to say about that. One is that I know that fans have always existed, toxic fans, but it made me think of contemporary stan culture a lot, and the access that people have to creators. People on Twitter will torture the showrunner of their favorite show because they don't get the ship that they wanted or whatever. And I just didn't experience that in 1997. So I wondered if, like, that was something that was unique to Japanese pop idols, or if I just didn't experience it because I didn't experience it. But it seems like prescient, I guess, is my point, because we have that so broadly now, and as such a problem in culture, and online culture specifically, that it seemed prescient to me in some way.
Yeah, I think idol culture is very fascinating to me because it is a machine. Like, it is a machine. A lot of the people who end up in these sort of idol positions, they've been molded for it through their entire lives. And they are treated kind of like superheroes. I mean, we even see at the beginning of this movie, the pop trio's production is acting in opposition, like sort of in competition, I should say, with what is like a live stage production of what I guess Western audiences would recognize as like a Power Rangers type show.
Right.
And
that's the opening of the movie. Hey, look, this is a Power Rangers.
It's a Power
movie.
Rangers, right? And then you're like, oh wait, it's a live stage adaptation. Okay, cool. And people are not with it. But there are so many people that are willing to watch three girls sing pop songs. And I think that is really telling to a culture and like the power that these idols have. I mean, we're kind of seeing that right now with the K-pop resurgence in the States.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
My little sister, bless her heart, love her dearly, has like a BTS hand tattoo. Like,
oh my God.
the fandom is strong.
Yeah. And what you say about how women who are transitioning in the public eye from like an innocent young person to like a sexually mature adult, um, this movie has that at its core, and there's a lot of stuff that's tricky to this movie. Like she willingly question mark does a rape scene on the crime, which is a really hard scene to watch.
That scene is harder to watch than most live action rape scenes. It's unreal.
Somehow they keep calling cut, of course, because it's fake. But it feels so real in the moment, and then they call cut, and everyone pauses, and the guy on top of us like, "Sorry," and she's like, "No worries," or whatever, and that makes it
so much more upsetting because there's an acknowledgement there that this is fucked up. Like, yeah.
And even like right before that scene, we get the writer being like, "Do you think they're gonna go for it? Do you think that precious little Mima's gonna fucking do this scene? Let's see. Let's give her the hardest thing we can like put her through." Right. And it's they do such a good job in this movie through Satoshi Kon's like incredible visual style of getting you inside the character like so much, which is essential to making this work in a way that you could not in live action in any way. Scene hits so fucking hard.
I thought of a live action comp that does a similar thing, which is The Flight Attendant on HBO Max.
Yes, it does.
Because Mima is seeing a version of herself that's in her old pop idol costume that's sort of torturing her, and sort of like the bad devil on her shoulder, telling her mean things about herself. Which is really effective because, as you said, it really puts you in her. You're really watching the movie through her point of view. And as she loses touch with reality, it sort of becomes unclear what's what in this really cool way. Her stalker, what is that man's name? Mr. Oh god, he has a name. Mr. Mental Me or something crazy.
Like Me Mania is what they call him.
Mr. Me Mania, yeah.
Yeah, his real name, which I don't have the word in front of me, but I do know that it translates in Japanese to like protector, which is really fucked. But it's like, oh, I see what you did there. Okay. But yeah, Me Mania is his like street name, I guess.
He is the one who's like reading Mima's room every day and following her every step. He is coded it's a little hard to tell because it's anime, but he seems to be drawn as deformed or disfigured in some way that I thought was interesting.
Yeah, his eyes are really far apart. So I have also seen people who have interpreted his character as somebody with developmental disability in either like a Down syndrome or even like an autistic way. And obviously there are problematic aspects to depicting somebody with a disability as being a villain or being awful. But I also don't think that was the intention behind it. And I think we're having a lot more nuanced conversations about that sort of representation now that we were not in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things where, because it is an animated medium, the second you look at this character, he is drawn in a way that's supposed to make you assume that there's something wrong here and that there's that this is somebody to be warned about. And in like a really fucked up way, I feel like that is him playing into the assumptions he knows the audience is going to make. Which I don't disagree with. Like, I think that is a way to kind of subvert a lot of those tropes that I think are really harmful, that we should be more conscious of. But I don't think that he was doing this in a way to be malicious or to make an assumption. I think he's trying to twist audience perception and preconceived notions.
That character is very much built. Even from the first time I saw this movie, I was like, this dude's a red herring.
Right.
Like, this dude's a little too obviously creepy. Something else is going on here.
Yes.
Like, yes, he's gonna get in fights with fans, may or may not be driving a car that is involved in some vehicular manslaughter, but and he's certainly fucking, on the creepier side of fandom. But this guy's they're really pushing it on him. I've seen enough media.
Yeah. So Mima leaves her girl group Cham, which I wish was called Sham, because like what a good name for a group Sham would be if you use the Wham font and Anyway, I was like, this should be a punk band called Sham.
Well, now you can like put together your boy band called Sham. This is the time. This is the time to do it.
My middle-aged man.
And and their first single can be called Wow.
Wow. So she leaves her girl group and becomes an actress, but she sort of immediately regrets it because as soon as she leaves, the girls get their first charted single. So, and they're pretty awful, the girls. So like, they immediately like, it's fine that we're a duo. Everything's great. I mean, everyone's like very inconsiderate of how she might feel.
Even the first scene, which is like at their live performance where she's supposed to be announcing that she's going to be leaving the group, she's having too hard of a time emotionally announcing it while there's also like a fight going on in the audience. And so she's like incapable of saying it, and so she's like, maybe I'll just bite it back and maybe I just won't announce it. And the other girl's like, she's leaving the group, guys.
Yeah. And really, her only friends are her manager and her manager's assistant, Rumi, who's the only other, who's like a slightly older woman who's sort of a mentor figure to her. And there's a great scene where Rumi teaches her how to use the internet, basically. And this is 1997, so in my mind, it was a bit late for this, but my boyfriend was watching it with me, and he was like, oh, actually, the Japanese were a little bit later to embrace like personal home computers than we were.
But this is also like around the same time as Buffy season 1, where you get the like Willow dating a robot episode where everyone's like, computer lab? There's computers in the school? You can talk to another person on the internet?
Well, that's what I was getting at, because something I love is like early internet culture. Because like last Thanksgiving, my friends and I rewatched that movie, The Net, with Sandra
Oh my
Bullock.
gosh, yes.
You mean Carl Reiner's favorite movie, The Net?
It's so funny. First of all, there's so many like internet words that aren't real in it. Like no one did any research. They're like, they're not even on the same subnet as us. And it's like, what is that? That's nothing. And then at one point, Sandra Bullock orders a pizza from pizza.com. And at another point, she's like sending an email. And she's, of course, because it's a movie, saying what she's typing out loud. And she types IRL and then pensively sits back and is like, in real life. And like, that's the quality that this scene gave to me, where she's like, you just click on this, or you type in HTTP, whatever. And it's like, so funny.
But it's so lovely because it's treated with her like bubbly personality at the same time, where she's like, someone's posted a thing on the internet, a site about this. And she's like, do you know what that means? And she's like, nope. I have no interest.
And I think it also tracks, though, because, again, with this sort of like pop idol thing, a lot of them are formed into it as children, and they don't get to make a lot of their own decisions. And they are kind of run through with handlers and managers and whatnot. She was not taking Mavis Beacon teaches typing at any time.
No, you're right. I mean, it's just, but it is fun. It's just such a moment that only lasted maybe 5 years. But you can go on YouTube and like watch really funny early internet things where there's a video that tells you what an electronic mail is, or like how to open a browser. There's just like a lot of that in this movie that's super fun.
One of my favorite things about this movie is that it's so much about like fan worship and like the star system and being a very sheltered presence. But you also get the flip side to that you rarely get in media like this, which is about how pretty normal her life is. She lives in a very small, very cluttered apartment that's very busy. Every scene that shows the interior of her apartment, there's always like shit on the floor, shit hanging from like clotheslines everywhere. It's very, very crowded and packed. And she just like takes the subway with everyone else. She goes to the same grocery store as everyone else. And that ends up leading into the voyeuristic like fear and paranoia later in the movie, and makes that, apartment even more Polanski-esque and terrifying. But it's really like nice to see that like she's a pop idol, but she's not doing well.
Right.
Yeah, I wondered if that was like, I mean, first of all, we know that Cham doesn't have any charted of like Hot 100 singles until she leaves the
And
group.
they're
So like, you get
Cham
the
and
sense that
her
they're
are
like
kind
sea
of
level.
the only people being represented by this agent. And
Mhm.
their
Yeah,
office
totally.
is like a card table and some folding chairs.
Absolutely. And I don't know how much of that, like one time I saw a home tour for Robin, the pop star, and she just like lives in a cute but simple apartment in Sweden. And I was like, oh, I guess it's like different to be a pop star in Scandinavia than the United States. You know what I mean? So I wondered how much it was that. I was obsessed with the fact that she's on the phone with her mom at some point and she's drawing a bath, and then the bath makes an alarm sound. And then she's like, oh, I've got to go. My bath is ready. And I was like, is this real? Like, do Japanese people have alarms on their bathtub? Because that's incredible.
I fall down rabbit holes all the time on TikTok of people who have these extremely efficient like Japanese apartments where everything has a timer and everything fits in a
Amazing.
certain place, and all of your like cleaning supplies are like they're like Swiss Army knives. Like this is a mop and a broom and a vacuum and a duster and a thing, and they all just work together because it's just so lovely to look at. It's like ASMR for the eyes. I don't know what the
Yeah.
word for that is, but there's a lot of these like very efficient things that we just don't have here, and I don't know
Yeah.
why we don't have them. I feel like it would make all of our lives easier, but
I love in Tokyo that all of the subway stops have their own little basically ringtone or chime. So like you know what your
yeah.
stop is like. Your stop is like bing bong bing or whatever. So even if you fall asleep, you hear your particular song and know it's your stop. It's so much nicer than the New York City subway, which is like such an assault in every sense.
Well, because then it's saying, yeah, New York and Chicago, but some guy's voice, they're like, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I think that's my stop. Oh, shit. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
the only Chicago thing you have is ding dong, the door is closing, and you
closing.
had 3 seconds. You have no time.
Yeah.
That's how New York is too. Yeah.
So can we talk about the, like, giallo connections of this movie
Yeah,
really
please.
Oh,
quickly?
Yes.
so beautiful.
Because, okay, so for context, Perfect Blue was the movie that got me into anime. Because I also, like, went to film school, everyone in college had their Miyazaki phase, and they were like, Drew, we want to show you these movies. They're so fun and important to us. And someone sat me down and showed me Kiki's Delivery Service, and I was like, I fucking hate this. I want to gouge my eyes out. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. I hate this. I want to leave.
Gosh.
And I really don't like Miyazaki movies. And like I've had like exes
Oh.
being like, how do you not like these? These are the best things in the world. And they will show me them, and I'm like, it's fine at best. If not, I'm like actively aggravated. And so I had a roommate in LA when I was like first really getting into like Dario Argento and Mario Bava and Lucio Fulci and like Sergio Martino, and I was like super into giallo films. And he watched me watching some, and he was like, oh, this is like Perfect Blue. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's this anime movie from the 90s that's like, I've got this bootleg DVD of because it's impossible to find.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, I haven't liked those Miyazaki movies, but if you say this is like the giallo films, I'll give that a shot. And like all of the murder set pieces in this are set to like Goblin-esque, like
Mhm.
Argento soundtrack kind of music.
Yeah.
And they're so visually stylish. And the movie has a very beautiful, like overarching, like concept on time and the way that like time like expands and contracts on itself. And the way that like everything in this person's life just gets like more and more rushed and time like collapses on itself. All of the murder set pieces, it stops. Every time any impact happens, like someone gets hit, everything goes silent, everything stops for a minute, and you just hold in there. And then a geyser of blood comes out and the music starts up again. And it is so much more horrifying and so much more impactful to just like, you have to sit in that impact for a minute. You have to sit in that horrible thing between perpetrator and victim, and then you can continue with dying.
Yes.
It's so
Yeah.
upsetting, but like this movie also like it falls into that very like black love killer, like Dario Argento early 1980s, like bombast version of the giallo film, but also like it very much falls into the like late 60s, early 70s like Gaslight, female led giallo film of like the Umberto Lenzi films of women just being like drugged and manipulated and fucked with to think that they're losing their minds, and like, maybe you just have DID, honey. Maybe your other personality should take a chill pill. And I love that about this movie. But this movie also leans into a lot of tropes of that genre that I'm not a big fan of, like the multiple personality disorder. The first scene that we get of her on the set of her TV show that she's on, Double Bind, which is a good play on Double Blind, while also getting some like rope play in there, which is always fun, is like she's watching the two actors, like the stars of the show, walking down a hallway, like delivering their like TV jargon. And the line is, it's literally like the plot of Silence of the Lambs. He's like, another victim has been sliced up and all her skin cut off. And she's like, that's what he's doing. That's what this sick fucker is doing. He's trying to build one. He's trying to turn himself into one. Turn himself into what? He's trying to turn himself into a woman. And it's like, oh my fucking God.
It's 97.
It's 90s. But it's also, they're also commenting on like how much shows like that fucking suck.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's sort of like commenting on it rather than actually doing it. So for me, it read as like kind of progressive and funny.
Yeah, no, I really appreciated that, because there's like, these are fucking dumb. All of those like CSI, NCIS shows that like did plots like that, which all of those did trans killer plots. Every single one of them.
All of them.
Still do them. Psych did one of them. It was more sympathetic, but Psych did one of them. And they're just lazy and awful and crappy. But on the flip side, this movie feels like a trans film. It's about like, it's about identity, it's about growing up, and it's about like growing into a concept of yourself, not what you've been told to be your whole life. And that's so fucking beautiful to me. And there's, a lot of mental illness and baggage that goes along with it.
Yeah.
Which I don't disagree with.
I'm really glad that you brought up the fact that the sound drops out whenever there is some sort of violence, because I think the reason that connects with me so deeply is because one of my inarguable favorite movies of all time is I Spit on Your Grave. And that is another movie that does not have music whenever there is violence present. And I think it just makes it so much more impactful because you don't have that safe distance of, oh, this is a movie anymore. Like, you're witnessing something really ghastly and horrific. And Perfect Blue does that, even though it is animation. Like, your brain knows that you are watching animation, that these are not real people, but losing the sound, I think, immerses you in a way that is really subconscious. Like, you can't really control that. Suddenly you're now more invested because just that losing that one element makes it feel so real. And I think you kind of forget for a half second, oh, this is pencil drawings. Like, I'm looking at
it makes you
paint.
Sit up in your seat and look closer.
Yes.
And one of the best magic tricks that this movie pulls is that, it's animation. It's drawn. It's like the most distance you can be from a piece of media, but it plays with itself so much, where time will fold in on itself. Scenes will become dreams. Scenes will become scenes of the show she's working on. They'll pull out of a really fucked up scene with like a VHS effect and be like, nope, that was all the TV show, whatever, fuck it. And they will just keep pulling you out and pulling the rug out from under you consistently, that you get pulled further in. The more that they tell you this is fake, the more that they stylize it, the more that they like break reality, the more that you get sucked in, the more that you closely associate with Mima. And it's brilliant. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
The movie is like playing with genre, which comes with all sorts of style trappings. So you kind of orient yourself in that way. You know what a crime show sounds like in terms of music, or a horror movie or whatever, and then it takes it away from you. So it's like you don't have this to lean on anymore. It's very clever.
It's very disorienting to watch. And there's also, it does one of my favorite things in any film, and the fact that they're able to pull it off so beautifully in animation is just a testament to everyone that worked on this. There's so much mirror play and window play, which I love so deeply. Actively cheering with Nia DaCosta's Candyman specifically for mirror and window play, where I'm like, oh, it's so good. And they do it so seamlessly and beautifully, because I think mirror and window play is like a very fine line, because sometimes it is so brilliant and terrifying and effective, and then sometimes it's like, oh, I get it, something moved behind you in the mirror, ha ha ha, and it just falls really flat. The stuff they do in this is so scary and so fantastically executed that, like, I understand why Aronofsky ripped this off. And when I say he ripped it off, like, he bought the rights to Perfect Blue because there is a shot where Mima is in the bathtub just kind of looking sad, and he wanted to use that exact shot in Requiem for a Dream, which he did. There is a 1-to-1 shot. So he had the rights to Perfect Blue, so whenever he says, no, Black Swan was not inspired by this at all, he's lying.
There was, my boyfriend looked at the Wikipedia while we were watching it. There was a live action version of this in 2002, I think.
I've refused to watch it because
I have no desire.
I have no desire to watch it. I don't need to.
Okay, so none of it. I don't really want to watch it either. So I'm just curious to see if either of you had, or
that's
like if
something
anyone
that, like,
knew anything about it.
I was thinking about during my rewatch of this, because like the first time I saw this, I knew nothing about anime, and I was just going into it as like a film. Now I've, having dated people in the world of animation and like gotten more into like a myriad of other like shows and films and stuff like that, I like, and thinking about like what it goes into the production of an animated piece of content, that like one of the first questions they ask you in any pitch meeting is, why is this animated? What are you doing in this that has to be animated? Why isn't this live action? And it's the level of control they exert on the story and on the visual language. Like everything with the like ghost of Pop Idol Mima would not work in live action. It would look so stupid. But it works brilliantly in this, and it's perfect.
Especially with the reveal, which we won't mention for spoiler reasons, but like there is a big reveal about that that would not work on film.
Yeah. And the way they use the animation to like blur the lines of identities and characters is great. And they like intentionally keep it like super rigid and filmic at a lot of times so that you feel very grounded, and then they pull it out from under you. And that's the best thing. It
does a super fun thing, like, I don't know, the only thing that comes to mind is like shock treatment, where you're like, okay, are we on the TV show right now? Or is this real life? Or is she playing her character on the show? Or is this a dream? Or like, you just don't know where you are for the last half of the movie in a way that's so well executed. Very disorienting and really cool.
One of the other things that I kind of appreciate about the choice for this film to be, I mean, I could say it's not even a choice, it's Satoshi Kon, it's going to be anime, but like, nevertheless, one of the things I appreciate about this being anime over live action is that like, this movie is literally commenting on coercing actresses into performing sexual assault scenes, and how like damaging that can be, while also not having an actress play the sexual assault scene and then being damaged by it. Like, you just have to have it drawn and then an actress in a booth doing the vocal lines. You're not actually asking a performer to do this while you're still able to comment on it. And there's so many movies out there that are commenting on sexual assault and a lot of things like that, while still like being a very fucked up set. And still treating people very, very poorly during the making of things. And the last season of Barry also did a very good job of commenting on that in a really fucked up way. And I'm very glad that like Perfect Blue is able to comment on that and show that without also having to be implicit in that.
Yes.
It makes me very happy.
Do either of you know where the title comes from, Perfect Blue? I mean, I know that this is based on a novel, and that's the title of the novel, so maybe the answer is in there. But from watching this movie, I was like, I have no idea what this title could be referencing.
I mean, I don't know, but I also like the smooth brain answer of like, I don't want to know.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. I was just curious.
I mean, it's, metaphorical. Like, I don't know, Perfect Blue calls up blue sky concepts to me.
I know the answer, but the
the
answer leads into spoiler territory. But Drusilla, you are right. It is in reference to after the big thing happens, and Mima is starting anew, the first thing that she sees when she leaves is a perfectly blue sky. So that's where it comes from, which I weirdly love titles like this in movies where it makes total sense when you have it explained to you why it's called that, but until then it's like, I don't know why, but I like this.
I just was
Those
curious.
are my favorite
I liked the
titles.
title. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, listen, let's pivot to our favorite game, Have They Seen It?, where we speculate wildly about whether notable figures have seen this film. I'll go first. I have someone loaded. This is somebody who in the 90s and early 2000s sort of aped, or if you prefer the modern parlance, culturally appropriated Harajuku girl culture. I want to know, has Gwen Stefani seen Perfect Blue?
Ooh.
I'm going to say no.
I'm also going to say no because I feel like Gwen Stefani's appropriation of Harajuku is that someone told her about it once and then she acted accordingly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like some gay stylist came into the room. It's like, wear this. And she's like, great. And then that's it. Like, she's not actually into it. She's not watching anime.
She doesn't seem like that person to watch movies to me. She seems like your, like, personality-wise, she seems like your aunt who just watches CSI and NCIS or, like, a true crime doc or Hallmark stuff around Christmas. And that's it? That, like...
This is not necessarily slander because I'd say I have a net positive attitude towards Gwen Stefani, but she does seem like someone whose taste in movies, if she has any at all, is like pretty bad. Like she probably only likes, like rom-coms.
Yeah, I feel like if you ask Gwen Stefani about like the most emotional experience she had in a movie theater, she'd be like, I went to the premiere of Titanic and it was the saddest thing. And you'd be like, sure, okay, Gwen. All right, that's fine. I'll accept that, but you should examine what that says about yourself.
I just saw Zendaya's favorite movies list, and it was so shockingly bad. It was like nothing that came out before the year 2000. And I just feel like Gwen Stefani's
She's
list would be
a very young actress who stars in Marvel movies. Why are you surprised that her list of favorite movies is bad?
I mean,
she's also young.
She's very young, and she came through the Disney machine as well. She's another one where I don't think anyone gave her the time to sit down and explore things.
Yeah,
well,
that's why I like whenever I find stories of like one of my favorite like episodes of a podcast ever was when oh my god, I literally just had her name in my head, and now it went, and now we can cut all of this out, because I'm gonna keep doing this. And you know what, PJ, you'll know this. Who's the freaking girl from School of Rock?
Oh, Rivka Reyes.
Nope.
No, wasn't
That's
that
the non-binary person from School of Rock. The young girl from School of Rock who went on to have it hold...
Oh, like, Miranda Cosgrove.
Miranda Cosgrove, thank you. We'll wind this back. One of my favorite podcast episodes of late has been Miranda Cosgrove was on Films to Be Buried with Brett Goldstein and spent a lot of time talking about like how she's had also similarly fucked up fan experiences, horrifying ones, but has like since coming out of the child actor machine has like actively sought out like growing herself and like discovering like, new pieces of art that she loves and stuff like that. And she spent a lot of podcasts talking about shoplifters and like really great, important, like contemporary stuff that's beautiful and incredible. And like, I love stories of growth like that. I love, because these are people that are sheltered their entire lives.
Come on.
I know.
First of all, part of the fun of this game is being snobby unrepentantly. But second of all, I just looked at Zendaya's age, and she's the exact same age as you, Drusilla.
Oh.
She's 26.
Wow.
She's not, like, 22. You know what I mean? Like, get some taste. You need to have some taste by 26, even if you're Zendaya. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, that's, especially if you're a cultural figure. I mean, I also, like, I feel bad because part of me is like... Yeah, I'm 26, and I was watching Godard movies when I was 14. But it's also like, I'm the exception, not the fucking rule, by a long shot.
I think there's also a weird pressure that never gets taken into consideration, that somebody like Zendaya is in this, like, heart of stan culture. If Zendaya was like, one of my favorite movies is Female Trouble, there's going to be a legion of baby Gen Zers like, Zendaya is canceled because this movie is so offensive. Oh my God. And so I think that's also part, like, anytime celebrities have to give these public lists, in my brain, I'm like, that had to go through a PR firm first.
Yeah, I can
But
see
she
that.
could even, like, know, she could say Paper Moon or something, even if she hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Like, something that she knows she's heard of as, like, a legacy art movie.
Paper Moon is artsy, old, and rated G.
Yeah.
Well,
I like Zendaya. I love Dune, but that list was bad, and I can't give her a pass.
See, now I want to go read that.
I still like her.
Okay. I have someone in mind who is also a female pop icon, because of course that's what we're talking about.
Sure.
From the early 2000s, who also, not favorably portrayed, so as a Caucasian person, portrayed some looks into Japanese girl looks that were very not well received at the time and are even worse well received now. But more specifically, I wonder if she's seen Perfect Blue, because this movie deals with fans considering if Mima has been replaced.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
And if the Mima fraud should be taken out. So I want to know, do you think Avril Lavigne has seen Purple Blue?
Avril Lavigne.
Wait. And my follow-up question, which Avril Lavigne has seen Perfect Blue?
Okay, so Avril Lavigne, the replacement Avril Lavigne, has absolutely seen Perfect Blue, because hashtag...
She had to watch it to get the gig.
She's hashtag not like most girls, and this is a movie that not like most girls have seen, because this is not the Miyazaki anime, this is the cool edgy girl anime, so absolutely she's seen it. Real Avril Lavigne has not, because she's no longer with us, so...
We have, like, Stepford Avril Lavigne.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I mean, I have nothing to add that BJ hasn't said already. What do you think, Drew?
I mean, I think that there is just the one Avril Lavigne. We can contain multitudes. Or Stepford Avril Lavigne is a DID multiple personality inside of real Avril Lavigne, and let her out, please, good God. That's more interesting.
Maybe it's like a disturbing behavior situation where they just altered the original Avril Lavigne with new technology.
Yeah, they put a chip in her brain or something like that. They hypnotized her. I think Avril Lavigne's seen this movie. She seems very into everything about this. Honestly, I feel like if she heard the fan theories about her and also watched this movie around the same time, she would have a lot of fun.
I think so too. I think she's also fully aware of the fan theories about her. I think if anybody leans into, like, the weird conspiracies about them, like, I think Katy Perry is never going to acknowledge the fact people think she's John Benet Ramsey, but I do think that Avril Lavigne...
I had no idea that
that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. But I do fully believe that Avril Lavigne knows people think that she's been replaced.
Well, the other person on my list that I was going to ask if they've seen it is someone that people also think is John Benet Ramsey.
Who's that?
Katy Perry.
Oh.
Anyway.
That's so crazy. I love this about Avril Lavigne. I feel like she knows about this conspiracy and thinks it's funny.
Yes. I think she knows. Like, I think between the two, I think Avril's intentions behind the Japanese appropriation were one out of love, where I think she was very much like, I'm culturally appreciating, even though it's not your choice to make that, my girl.
Yeah.
Because that, as compared to the Gwen Stefani one, actually feels like it's coming from, like, hey, I'm into this stuff, let's try and incorporate that.
Mm-hmm.
As compared to, like, that's a thing that's hot in fashion right now, let's try that.
Right.
But they're still not good, man. Like, there's other ways of doing it. You can write a list about your favorite movies, and you can list off Perfect Blue. That'll do the job.
But be careful, because you don't want to be like Zendaya listing basic movies.
Yeah, list cool movies like Perfect Blue. Don't get dragged.
Ask somebody if you need to. You don't have to, like, phone up.
Zendaya knows people. Call up freaking Sam Richards, Sam Levinson.
She knows Chalamet. You know Chalamet likes good movies. Ask him.
Coleman Domingo needs to do double duty and be a mentor on screen and off, and give her some good movie recommendations, because I trust and believe that Coleman Domingo knows good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who knows and loves Zendaya, please give her a $500 gift certificate to the Criterion Collection this holiday season. She deserves it.
Honestly,
We
put
want the best for
Zendaya
her.
in the closet. That's what we want.
Yeah, put her in the Criterion closet.
What about you, BJ? Who do you have in
BJ,
mind?
who do
Who
you got?
are you burning with questions about?
Here's where I went with this. Is I chose somebody who is not a pop idol, but somebody who did sort of go out of relevancy in the 90s, but has legally on record had to differentiate between their real life persona and their fictional persona. So
Okay.
I want to know if Hulk Hogan has seen Perfect Blue. Because one of my favorite things is that it is on record where he had to clarify that Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch dick, but not Terry Bollea. That shit is the funniest thing in the world to me.
Oh my God.
I love the Hulkster.
I just went on such a lifetime journey with him because I'm Southern, and so everyone in my family loved wrestling, of course, and I'm a child of the 80s, so he was always on my television, and he was a good guy, and I don't know what happened. I don't know when he became a bad guy. He did ruin Gawker, which I will never forgive him for. I think he's seen it. I don't know why. That's my instinct.
My brain cannot compute the image of Hulk Hogan sitting on a sofa watching Perfect Blue. I am having a very hard time creating that mental picture and then also anticipating his reactions to it. Because I see him like as a person, not as the Hulkster, as very much like a Midwestern dad kind of guy. Yeah. Like he's very built. He's gonna have his cookouts on the weekend. He's got his like short rib, like dry rib seasoning that he cares a lot about. But he seems like the kind of guy who watches Taken and is like, I like that one.
Well, he's very canonically a Floridian.
Yes.
I don't know by birth, but by the past few decades. There's a great sketch on SNL about a fake reality show about Florida girls. They're like, you don't know my daddy. You don't know my daddy. My daddy's Hulk Hogan. And the other one's daddy is Hulk Hogan, too, and they find out they're sisters. I only say yes because I feel like and this, I guess, hasn't had anything to do about Hulk himself, but like I feel like someone who likes wrestling will also like anime.
There's a huge crossover between wrestling fans and anime fans to the point where it's starting to become incorporated now that like Vince McMahon is not in charge of things. There is a phenomenal trans wrestler named Kid Bandit who bills themselves as like the people's protagonist, like the protagonist of wrestling, and they fight with like the key sword sometimes from Kingdom Hearts. They have huge anime hair. It is remarkable how wonderful it is. I know this is an audio medium, so no one can visually see this, but the two of you can see that behind me on my horror wall is this beautiful face of the wrestler Danhausen, who looks like a German expressionist film.
It looks like Klaus Nomi or something.
Yeah, and he's a wrestler, and he looks like that, but then talks like Conan O'Brien. It's fantastic. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. I believe that Hulk Hogan has not seen Perfect Blue, but I do believe that Terry Bollea has, because I think Terry Bollea is like a closet nerd and sits at home and scrolls through Tubi and watches like weird stuff that he can find, but doesn't tell anyone about it because he doesn't need anyone questioning his masculinity. That's where I think it is.
See, I agree with that, and I could see him like sitting on the couch watching like Sergeant Frog and being like, a classic, a great episode. Or watching Sailor Moon and like shedding a tear. But for some reason, I just can't picture Perfect Blue on the screen. I don't know why.
Maybe we'll Photoshop it and it'll like see it for yourself.
It'll be like one of those like memory things that's gonna unlock a whole different personality in me where like I buried this my whole life. I was there in Florida when this happened.
Well, I think that's it for this episode of Bloodhouse. BJ, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We love you so much.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at BJ Colangelo, and my podcast, This Ends at Prom, a coming-of-age podcast about teen girl cinema, hosted by myself and my amazing wife, Harmony, dissecting these films through the cis and trans femme perspectives.
It's a really, really, really great podcast.
Thank you.
I highly encourage you to go listen to it.
We're heading into spooky season, so all the fun teen horror.
Yes. Drusilla, where can people find you?
You can find my art and my website over at sisterhidedesign.com. There's lots of new posters over there for movies like Armageddon Time and Funny Pages and Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And I guess I do this for a living now. You can also find me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at Hide Sister, the inverse of that. I'm not really on those anymore, but the few occasions that I am, you can see the little like groundhog coming out of its shell to see its shadow. On occasion, you can catch me on those, but you should follow me anyway because I appreciate your love, even if I don't see it. What about you, Josh? Where's the Josh's Room website that we can go follow?
I'm at Joshua Conkle on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, and you can also follow the show on other socials and email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. Now, Drusilla,
yes,
what shall we watch next week?
Well, after talking about a lot of BJ's favorite movies, about talking about rape revenge films and talking about teen high school movies, I was like, well, what if Now I want to go watch a teen high school rape revenge movie. Like, does something like that exist? Yes, it does. Let's go watch Assassination Nation, Josh. Let's do it.
Ooh, my body is ready. Ta-ta.